All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of crystals and intuition?
Always ready for a deep dive, especially when it comes to something as fascinating as intuition.
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at an excerpt today from Crystals for Intuition, Enhance Your Inner Knowing.
Sounds intriguing.
It is, and it lays out the top 5 crystals that are believed to enhance intuition, along with a bit of the science behind it all, or at least the theories behind it all.
Okay.
But before we get into that, I want to ask you, have you ever had a gut feeling that just turned out to be right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've all had those moments where something just feels right or wrong, even if we can't quite explain why.
Right. It's like that inner voice or that hunch. And it's interesting because our source material actually mentions that 89% of business leaders use intuition in their decision-making process.
Wow, 89%. That's a pretty significant number.
Yeah, it is. It kind of makes you wonder if maybe we shouldn't dismiss intuition as just, some mystical mumbo jumbo.
Right. It seems like it might actually be a valuable tool.
For sure. So let's get to the heart of it here, these top 5 crystals for intuition.
Okay, let's do it.
So first up, we have amethyst.
Ah, amethyst, the all-purpose stone. It's a beautiful purple crystal that's often associated with the crown and third eye chakras.
And those are the energy centers that are believed to govern higher consciousness and intuition, right?
Exactly. So it's thought that amethyst can help to quiet the mind and create a space for those intuitive whispers to become clearer.
Okay, so it's like silencing the noise so you can hear your intuition more clearly.
Exactly, because our minds are constantly bombarded with so many thoughts and distractions that it can be hard to hear that subtle inner voice.
That makes sense. What about lapis lazuli, that deep blue stone?
Lapis lazuli is often called the stone of truth. It's also linked to the third eye chakra, and it's believed to enhance inner vision and psychic awareness.
So it's about seeing through illusions and getting to the heart of the matter.
Exactly. Some people believe that lapis lazuli acts like a filter, helping you perceive things with greater clarity and insight.
So it's not just about having those gut feelings, but also about trusting them and being able to discern what's real.
Exactly. It's about that discerning aspect of intuition.
I like that intuition as a kind of inner compass. All right, so up next we have moonstone.
Ah, Moonstone, a stone deeply connected to the moon's cycles and feminine energy.
And probably pretty self-explanatory when it comes to intuition.
Right. Moonstone is believed to enhance psychic abilities, especially clairvoyance and prophecy, and it's also thought to encourage introspection.
So it's less about seeing the truth in the outside world and more about tapping into your own inner knowing.
Exactly. Moonstone is thought to help you connect with your subconscious mind, where those intuitive insights often reside.
It's like tuning into the whispers of your soul, all right now for my personal favorite, labradorite.
Ah, Labradorite with its mystical iridescent flashes, it's a truly magical stone.
It looks magical, and it's said to be a stone of magic and transformation.
It is, and it's also believed to protect the aura from negative energies.
But when it comes to intuition, how is it believed to work?
Well, Labradorite is thought to stimulate psychic abilities and help you see through illusions connecting you with higher realms of consciousness.
So those flashes of color in the stone are like flashes of insight.
You could say that it's like Labrador helps illuminate those hidden truths that might be lurking beneath the surface.
Interesting. And last but not least, we have azurite.
Azurite, another beautiful blue crystal. This one's all about expanding the mind and deepening your intuition.
It's associated with the third eye chakra as well, right?
It is, and it's believed to aid in developing psychic abilities, particularly promoting clarity of thought and enhancing communication with your higher self.
So we've talked a lot about the third eye chakra. Could you explain a little more about what that is and how it relates to intuition?
Sure. So, in many spiritual traditions, the third eye chakra is considered the seat of intuition and inner vision.
And where's it located?
It's located in the center of the forehead between your eyebrows, and it's associated with insight, perception, and spiritual awareness. When this chakra is open and balanced, it's believed that your intuitive abilities are heightened, allowing you to access a deeper level of understanding.
So these crystals are thought to work by stimulating and balancing this energy center.
That's the idea. They act like tuning forks vibrating at specific frequencies that can help align and activate the third eye chakra, potentially leading to a more awakened state of intuition.
Fascinating. So it's not just about the crystal's beauty, but also its energetic properties. But is there any scientific evidence to support these claims?
That's a great question, and it's one that researchers are still exploring. The excerpts we're looking at mentions that crystals have unique molecular structures that cause them to vibrate at specific frequencies.
Hmm.
And some believe that these vibrations can interact with our own energy fields.
Hmm.
And while research is ongoing, there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that crystals can indeed impact our energy fields and potentially influence our physical and mental states.
So while the science may not be fully understood yet, there's at least a theoretical basis for how crystals might work. But what about the role of belief? The placebo effect suggests that simply believing something will work can actually make it work.
Absolutely. Our beliefs and expectations have a powerful impact on our experiences.
Yeah.
So if you believe that a crystal will enhance your intuition, it very well might, even if it's partly due to the power of your own mind.
That's pretty amazing. So even if someone is skeptical about the mystical side of crystals, there's no harm in trying them out, right?
Not at all. In fact, it could be a fascinating experiment. You might be surprised by what you discover about yourself and your own intuition.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. The top 5 crystals for intuition, the third eye chakra, the potential science behind it, and the power of belief. Let's take a moment to digest all of this. And when we come back, we'll dive into the practical side of things, how to actually use these crystals to enhance your own intuition.
So before the break, we were talking about, how these crystals might work and the whole belief aspect of it.
Yeah, like on an energetic level.
Exactly. So let's say someone is ready to give these crystals a try for boosting their intuition. How do they actually use them?
That's what I'm curious about too. I mean, is it just carrying a crystal in your pocket or is there more to it?
Well, carrying a crystal can be helpful, but there are a few other methods mentioned in crystals for intuition.
Okay.
One of the most popular being meditations.
Okay. I've heard of crystal meditation, but I'm not really sure how it works.
It's actually pretty simple. You can hold the crystal in your hand, you can place it on your third eye chakra, or you can just have it nearby as you meditate.
Okay.
And the idea is to focus your attention on the crystal and its energy as you quiet your mind and connect with your inner self.
So it's like the crystal acts as a focal point for your meditation,
Exactly.
helping you to clear your mind and access those intuitive insights.
Right, and different crystals are thought to have different effects on meditation.
Oh, okay.
For example, amethyst might deepen your sense of peace and tranquility, while labradorite might enhance your visualization abilities.
That makes sense. The source material also mentions creating crystal grids.
Yes, crystal grids.
What are those?
So crystal grids involve arranging multiple crystals in a specific geometric pattern. It's like creating a little energy field with a specific intention, in this case, enhancing intuition.
So you're not just working with one crystal's energy, but amplifying and combining the energies of several crystals.
Precisely.
Wow.
It's a way to create a more focused and powerful energy field.
So for intuition, which crystals would you use for a grid?
You might use crystals like Amethyst, Lapis Lazuli, and Moonstone arranged in a grid pattern that resonates with you.
Okay, so are there any guidelines for creating a crystal grid, or is it more about intuition?
It can be a combination of both. There are certainly traditional patterns and layouts for crystal grids,
Okay.
but you can also let your intuition guide you in choosing the crystals and arrangement that feels right for you.
So there's room for creativity and personalization. What about wearing crystals as jewelry?
Absolutely. Wearing crystal jewelry allows you to keep the crystal's energy close to your body throughout the day.
Right.
It's like having a constant reminder to stay connected to your intuition.
I can see how that would be helpful, especially for someone who's, wanting to be more mindful of their intuition throughout the day.
Right.
The book also mentioned placing crystals around your home or workspace.
Yeah.
How does that work?
The idea there is to create an environment that supports intuition and insight. So, for example, you might place amethyst in your meditation space to enhance tranquility,
Okay.
or lapis lazuli on your desk to promote clear thinking and decision-making.
So it's like setting the stage for your intuition to flourish.
Think of it as creating a sanctuary for your inner wisdom.
I love that a sanctuary for your intuition. It sounds like there's so many different ways to work with crystals, and it's all about finding what resonates with you.
Absolutely. It's a personal journey of exploration and discovery. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The most important thing is to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to experiment.
So even if someone is skeptical, there's no harm in trying it out and seeing what happens.
None at all. In fact, skepticism can sometimes be a healthy starting point, because it encourages us to question, to experiment, and to ultimately draw our own conclusions based on our experiences.
That's a great perspective. And even if someone isn't quite ready to, embrace the mystical side of crystals, there's still value in paying attention to your intuition, right?
Absolutely. Intuition is a natural human ability that we all possess. It's that inner voice, that gut feeling that can guide us in ways that logic sometimes can't.
Right.
And whether you use crystals or not, learning to listen to and trust your intuition can be incredibly empowering.
It's like tapping into a source of wisdom that's always available to us. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway you'd want our listener to remember?
Interesting, we were talking about all those business leaders using intuition.
Yeah, 89% of them, according to our source.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. If intuition is playing a role at that level, shouldn't we all be paying more attention to those gut feelings? You know?
It's a good question. We often associate intuition with things like creativity or personal decisions,
Yeah.
but maybe it has a much broader application.
Yeah. Like if CEOs are using it for big decisions, there's got to be something to it.
Right, and maybe that's where crystals can come in.
You mean by helping us tap into that intuition?
Exactly, either through their energetic properties or simply by helping us focus our intention like we talked about with the placebo effect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I know I tend to overthink things sometimes.
me too.
And maybe the answer is already there in my intuition if I could just quiet my mind enough to hear it.
Maybe this whole deep dive has been really interesting.
It has. I've learned a lot, not just about the crystals themselves, but about intuition in general.
Yeah, me too.
It's like there's still so much we don't understand about the human mind.
Absolutely.
So to our listener out there, if you're feeling even a little bit curious, I encourage you to explore this further.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe pick up a crystal, try a meditation, or just start paying closer attention to those gut feelings.
You never know what you might discover.
Exactly. And remember, whether you fully embrace the mystical side of crystals or just appreciate their beauty, the most important thing is to trust yourself.
Trust that inner knowing.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive into crystals and intuition.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned a thing or two about the power of your own intuition. Thanks for listening.